And welcome back, everyone, to Quirk Creation Series. This one comes to us from Zombie Demon, who asked the question, what is the quirk of Kurumi... I want to get her name right here. Kurumi Tokisaki? Tokisaki, I believe. One of the villains from Date a Live Girl. Now, as weird as that sounds, she apparently is very dangerous and has an ability that manipulates time. So, and her ability is focused predominantly on bullets she has. So, time-based quirks in My Hero are exceedingly rare. There's one guy who, during, ironically, the Airy arc, with Overall, that was able to kind of slow down people's personal time a little bit, like slow them down. There was also another person who, not a person. There's also Airy herself, who literally can rewind things back to a previous state. The thing is, she needs to build up, just build up time to use that ability. And therein lies the problem that the one real true time-based quirk we have is overly powerful and has a lot of drawbacks if you're not careful. So time-based quirks, I think, are tricky to do. But I think we can do something with this. So I think the idea we can do here is called her quirk time walk, or time warp, by basically constantly giving up moments of her life. She's able to manipulate the time, or the quantum field or whatever, the personal time of an object she touches. That's basically it. Now, so in the series, it's basically draining her life force, meaning it would be shortening her lifespan. I think that is the perfect catch-22, if you will, to a quirk like that. Your lifespan's running. Now, that means you constantly get to choose, and I think that's it. You can constantly choose how much of your time you're giving up. Like, for example, I don't think she would give up more than maybe 5 to 10 seconds at any given time, because, seriously, how much time are you going to be giving up? But the idea of it is, you touch something, you can speed it up by 10 seconds, or speed it up 10 seconds faster. Like, it's something, I wouldn't say it's like jumping ahead in time, but basically you're increasing its speed to kind of match that, or you're slowing something down for 10 seconds. Or if you want to, you can literally just put a stop on something. Like, what she can do with the time manipulation, I think, can vary based on maybe what she's kind of feeling in the moment. She just taps something and it goes, and its time is sped up. I think that would be the way you would use a time speed up in this. Slowing down something based on the amount of time you've decided to give up is one thing. Like, it just starts moving slowly in time. But you basically have to just touch it when it's stopped or slowed to just reverse the effect. I think that's how that works. And that would make her a nightmare in hand-to-hand combat. And I think that would be if she were a villain, that would be one of the things she excels at. Also, she would still carry lots of guns, because that would be horrifying. I'd say, I loaded these babies myself. 5 seconds on each one. So then, what do you think's going to happen? And, it's almost like it's moving instantaneously, like it's at that spot. It would have to take someone with extreme reflexes or speed just to even comprehend the bullet. So I think that is a perfect way to bring her ability from the show and games. I believe it's a game series too, but definitely show, anime, into a My Hero setting. It still basically has the same limitation it has in the original. It's just that it's just ticking down her life. And I imagine that when she gets... Now, what would an awakened version of this quirk look like? I would say this. I think an awakened version of the quirk would essentially be, to use Bleach, Baragon's senescence ability, where he literally touches you and ages you down. Because I think there's, speeding up, slowing down, and stopping. I don't think there's a reverse. She can't do what Eri does. I think she just goes forward, or stops or goes forward in some way, just slow or fast. So if she decides, I'm going to give up a year of my life, and all of a sudden, the old guy you're fighting, it's, my heart. It's like, it looks like I would have had to give you 5. And I think that would be another thing. If she used that, any excess time she used would come back to her. I think that would be a fair compromise there. I don't think she's going to be able to steal years. I think that is a limitation. But still, I think it would be a very deadly quirk, especially in the world of My Hero. I mean, it would also help her, fight against things like being crushed or something like that. If a building's falling down her, she literally can just boop and say, okay, I'm going to give it 5 minutes and just hold it there. I think that'd be another thing. She has to concentrate to stop something. Like slowing something down, that's fine. The effect is just going through, and it will go through its motions for however much time. But to stop something in its tracks, or slow something down to the point it stops, that takes concentration and focus. But in theory, if she wanted to be a hero at any point, she could literally just stop a building from collapsing for like 5 minutes and get everyone out. Now, granted, it would all depend on how long she lives for. In the series, she's actually a spirit, so her lifespan is very up for debate. But in this world, she would simply just be a human. Granted, she could be a human that could live 100 years. The average lifespan, I think, right now is like 75, 78, something like that. But with anime, you never know. So let's just say she had 100 years. That could be another thing. That could be another she actually is cursed with knowing what her lifespan is. It's just an inherent thing she's always known. That could be another downside of this quirk. She actually knows how much time she has. So that would be actually a boon. That would be a boon. And maybe say when at the end of the series where they're fighting all for one, she decides to give up a giant chunk of her life to be like, I'm going to age you up so hard, oh man, and just and his body just almost gives it, he just ages him so quick. Or he could use it in reverse when his body, and he's maybe looking for her when his body's starting to revert back to its younger form. Because technically speaking, she has a quirk that is a direct counter to Aries' quirk. The only catch-22 is Aries could rewind again without any real detriment to herself. Just needs some time. Kurumi cannot do that. So that's my idea for the quirk. I think it's a cool quirk, actually. Let me know in the comments below what you think. Until then, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.